Today we're going to be loading up some 40 Smith & Wesson on the Lee Classic Turret Press, and that's coming up next year on Jesse B Outdoors. Welcome back everybody, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave a comment down below if you like videos like this. So we're going to load up some 40 Smith & Wesson here, and what we're going to do is we're going to load it up here on this channel, and then in the future, it probably won't be right away, we'll probably shoot these up on my second channel. But what we're doing is the 40 Smith & Wesson here, and I'm going to show you the components I'm using. We are using some Winchester primers. Yes, these are old ones. I walked into one of my local gun stores, and somebody had a family member pass away, and they told me to get rid of them. And I walked in at just the right time to snag about 1,000 of these for a decent song. And we're going to use these up here. Then, of course, we're using my favorite semi-auto powder, HP 38. If you guys aren't familiar, the Winchester 231 is the same stuff as this. And then we're using the Lee. I haven't even got them out yet. What a way to get the video, not get to be ready for it. But the Lee 104 175 grain truncated cone bullet that I casted up. Thank you, Missouri Bullet Company, for sending the lead out to do these with. So that's the components. Let's get set up and get loaded. Now, just so you know, we're doing this on the Lee Classic Turret Press, so it's a little bit slower. So what I'm going to do is I'm only going to do 50 rounds. I've already made 50 rounds up off camera to get everything set up and make sure it's working good. But right there, we just sized it. And then what I'm going to do is come over here, zero out my scale off to the side here that you can't see. We'll move to the next station, and we will get our powder charge. Make sure this is right. This one might be off because it sat for a little bit, but that's why we check all this. It is actually dead on. So we're going to put that on there. Put our Lee bullet on here. Make sure that is straight. Then we're going to seat the bullet, come down, come back up, crimp the bullet, and there is our first completed round for this video here. I've been outside doing videos all day, so don't mind my dirty fingernails there. That was from picking up brass, so I can do more reloading in the future. Anybody who reloads and snags their own brass will totally understand that. So we're going to go through and load these here. What should be the topic of today? If you follow my channel, you know, while we reload, we talk about stuff. And I did 4 range videos today, so let's talk about that. First video I did today was on 10mm. Of course, that is where 40 Smith & Wesson came from, so what a good topic. Basically, the 40 Smith & Wesson it came about because the FBI was a bunch of pussies and couldn't handle the power of 10mm. So they shortened the 10mm case and came up with the 40 Smith & Wesson, and that's how this round came about here. Now, originally, the 10mm, we're going to get into the history of the 10mm real quick here. It was a 200 grain bullet, and I think it was 1,200 feet per second. Well, of course, they couldn't handle it, and that's why they came up with the 40 Smith & Wesson. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I've recently just got into 40 Smith & Wesson, and here it is 2023, and I'm just now getting into it. You say, well, Jesse, why is that? Well, the reason is because my thought was, I shoot a lot of 9mm. A lot of my guns are 9mm. And I had a 45 1911 and a 45 Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. So I figured if 9mm couldn't get the job done, I'd get the 45 out. But my brother comes out here. I am in Ohio. He's from Illinois. And when he comes out to visit, he shoots a lot out here. And he has a CZ75 clone. It's a Tang Foglio. I can never pronounce it. You guys probably know what I'm talking about. Chopping that up there. But it's in 40 Smith & Wesson. And I shot it a few times and I didn't mind it. Then if you also follow the channel, you know my pastor loaned us a Beretta 96 Elite. So I used what little brass I had at the time from my brother out here shooting, reloaded that because I already had a 10mm, so I already had the bullets. Reloaded that stuff to make that video, and I end up enjoying it out of the Beretta. I enjoyed it out of his gun too, but those were both hammer fire guns. Well, because I don't have, or didn't have a 40, I figured I would be really cheap on it and do a police trade-in. And that's how I ended up with my Glock 22. And I'll tell you guys what, you cannot beat the police trade-ins. They are awesome on the price. Mine looks like it was barely shot. Had a tad bit of holster wear, but not very much. So if you don't follow the channel, you know on the 10th round, when I do it on this press, I check the powder charge again. But that's what we're going to shoot these in, is going to be that Glock 22. You know, I think I like it more for it gives me another option. And in a crap hits the fan situation, I think it's good to have it in a Glock. Dead on again on my number. Because there's Glocks everywhere. Look at how many police departments did use the Glock 40. There's magazines everywhere. So I figured in that kind of situation it'd be nice to have a Glock. That's why I went with the Glock. And you just cannot beat a police trade-in Glock. Those things are... I'm totally happy with mine. And then I bought extra police trade-in magazines. They worked flawless, so I got 4 magazines for it. And that got me into 40 Smith & Wesson. And I just kind of enjoy it now. And it gives me a different option to reload for. Gives me something different to do videos with. And we can always use stuff to do more videos with. But that's how I got onto 40 Smith & Wesson. Totally got sidetracked about my videos for the day, but there you go. But one thing I'm not too happy about in that 10mm video is I was trying out a red dot also. It wasn't part of the video, but I was testing the video to make sure it worked. And it was a scope from Zulisi. And I had it originally on my Canik TP9 SFX. And I did the review video of it on that. But I wanted to try it on 10mm to see if it could handle 10mm. Well, I did what Smith & Wesson said, and I used their junk plastic plates that come with their guns. I used their screws, and I think it was in that video. You guys have probably will seen that video by the time this video comes out. Halfway through the second mag, the dot and the plate fly off the gun. And when I picked the dot up, the screws were still in the dot, and it looks like it completely stripped out the threads in the slide. Of course, that was today, and right now this is nighttime, and I'm making this video, so I haven't really looked into it much, but I'm pretty sure it stripped the threads right out of the slide. So I'm not too happy about that I used Smith & Wesson's junk plates, their junk screws, and I torqued them down to 15 inch-pounds just like you're supposed to do, so it's nothing I did, and the thing comes flying off. So I will be getting a hold of Smith & Wesson Monday, or maybe Tuesday. I got something going on Monday, and seeing what they'll do about it, because one reason why I wanted the Smith & Wesson M&P 10mm was because it was optics ready. But the rest of that video went good. The purpose of that video, everything went the way I wanted. Primers I was testing worked good. Was always glad of that. So then the next video I did, we were running the 10mm Missouri Bullet Company 40 cal bullets. Well, I ended up reloading those before I had my 40 caliber. I've had them for a while, so that video, even though it's a newer video, the concept for it was a long time ago. So I loaded up all the 100 rounds of Missouri Bullet Company bullets in 10 millimeter, and I shot 50 of them in the T-Sauce 1911 10 millimeter video. Blah, can't talk. And I was doing the other 50 rounds in my M&P, because that's what I originally made the rounds for, and they shot good and everything, so that was a good video. Also, during the two 10 millimeter videos, I cannot talk tonight. MGM targets, if you guys know, I'm hooked up with them, and every so often they send me a target out, and they sent me out this cool 8-inch popper. And I was having a blast with that with the 10 millimeter. The 10 millimeters, man, just knocked the crap out of it, and it popped right back up. That was a lot of fun on that. So I definitely recommend popper targets. They're pretty fun there. I'm going to check another round here as I fire back up my scale. We'll size this one real quick. Get this zeroed out here. Check and see what we're on. Alright, we're dead on again. So that target is pretty sweet. And then the video after that, I did my testing of the Zulysses Owl Plus red dot. And I had that on my SCT-19 project that I have, and that was awesome. Love that dot. Don't know if that video came out yet or not, so I might be spoiling it for some of you guys. But Zulysses becoming my favorite budget brand for that price category. Before I had ADE optics. The last ADE optic I had, I wasn't too impressed with it, and said what was wrong in the video that I didn't like about it. And I still got it on my dagger, but it's going to be getting replaced soon with something else. Just not really impressed with it at all. But for that price range, I do recommend Zulysses optics. As you guys know, I beat the crap out of the first one, dropped it in water and everything, and it worked out good through all that. This one, I dropped it on the ground a few times and stuff. I didn't do the water. The water rating was different on it because it's a bottom load battery. But I was going to pour a bottle of water over it and totally forgot to bring my bottle of water out when I was filming. So I didn't get that done, but I'm pretty sure with the rating on it, it's good on that. But that is definitely a great dot on that one. And then the second video, or the fourth video, I still had the SCT-19 frame. And what we were doing in that video is I got a NDZ metal recoil spring and guide rod for it. And those are kind of cool. It has a screw on the end so you can change the springs on it if you need different spring rates. I basically bought it just to add a little bit of weight on the end of the gun. Now, are you going to notice the weight on it? No, but it does add a little weight. But the metal spring and guide rod assembly is stronger than what the plastic one is. And then I already knew that worked out great because I shot about 200 rounds through it before I even did that video. And in that video, it worked great. And I'll tell you what, right now, that is probably one of my favorite guns to shoot. Is that SCT-19 project I did. Love that. So that's all the videos I did today. Go back to that MGM popper. The 10 millimeter, of course, knocked crap out of it. And I did 2 videos with 10 millimeter. And if you guys don't follow my channel, I got a muscle disease. So after about 100 rounds of 10 millimeter, I couldn't handle it anymore. I thought I was on my 10th one, but I'm not. And last magazine, I did not shoot that good in it. But when I was hitting that MGM popper with that 10 millimeter, it was smacking the crap out of it. And I was having a blast with it. Well, if you guys know, on my SCT-19, I've got a Harrington Arms comp on it. And going to 9mm and then shooting it with that comp compared to 10mm was like shooting a BB gun. And then when I was shooting that MGM popper with the 9mm, of course it barely moved. So that was a heck of a difference, seeing that popper get hit with 10mm and then with 9mm. I'll probably end up doing a video on the MGM target. I do a video on just a target. I done that for all the targets they've sent out to me. So I'll probably do one on that, but I just couldn't resist shooting at that thing before doing a video on it. And our powder charge is dead on again. And that was awesome shooting that thing. I can't wait to hit it with other calibers. We're going to have some 45 Colt videos coming up here in a little bit. CW Longshot sent me some 300 grain 45 cal rounds that we're going to load up in there. And we'll really see that popper and get the crap knocked out of it with those. He sent me plenty of them too, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get with him and do a pet load, and then that he does, and then maybe we'll do some ladder tests with him. He did send me enough of them to do that. If somebody sends me a little amount of bullets, usually I don't do ladder tests because I like having enough for the ladder test, but this bullet he sent me plenty of. So there's a future reloading video for this channel and then shooting video on my other channel for you guys to check out. But as we're doing the 40 Smith & Wesson here on the Lee Classic Turret Press, you guys can see why I recommend this press, because it barely ever gives me any issues. This is a turret press. I call it a semi-progressive press because of the turret moving on top. And basically what that means, in case you guys don't know anything about this press, is with every 4 pulls of this press, you get a completed round. Now the only thing I've added to this is I don't know if you can see it, yeah, right here, I added the roller handle to it. And then I got a magnet up here with one of my Olight flashlights on it so I can see the powder charge. And everything else on this thing is stock. So that right there tells you no aftermarket parts or anything. As I said before, I say it in most of my videos on this just because there is a little square ratchet piece in here that breaks. And then you can just pull that rod out and you can turn it manually by your hand. If I'm doing like precision rounds like for ladder tests and stuff, where I want everything dead on, I do it that way. I don't do it this way with semi-progressive with that rod in. But you can take that out and do it with absolutely no issues. But that's the only issue I've ever had with this press. And like I said before, when I order something online from a place that sells them, they're only $1 something. Usually I pick one up. I got like 5 or 6 of them on hand, just in case anything pops up. So there's a little info on the press for you while we're reloading some of these 40 cal rounds on here. Oh, what can we talk about next? Let's talk about Missouri Bullet Company, since they sent us the lead to make these. They sell 8-pound ingots. And when you buy them, you get 2 8-pound ingots and they ship them to you. Some people think the BHN's hard on them. The BHN is 16. I think for what I do, that isn't bad. That's really good for a rifle and magnum rounds. But I use them like 10mm would be perfect. This 40 kind of overkill. 9mm 380 overkill. That really don't bug me. Some people it bugs, saying it's too hard of a BHN. I'm shooting at steel, and I don't think I would ever shoot a gun enough to shoot the rifling out of it, so I have absolutely no issues with it. It's real nice because when I flex it and everything, usually not much garbage comes out of it, so they really take care of their lead good. And that was my, I went over my 10 rounds here. I'm going to size this one real quick and then we'll double check it. But I really like their lead. And the high-tech bullets they sent out to us too. They sent a 109mm, a 140, a 145. They all worked perfect. Had no issues with them. Seemed very accurate. And the one thing that's cool, and I'm still dead on, I'm using the Lee powder drum, in case you guys don't know. And basically, when you get high-tech bullets, lead bullets like that from somebody, that is the cheapest route to go if you don't cast your own. And what I'm trying to do is I don't have the time all the time anymore to cast these bullets up. And then once you cast them up, you got to powder coat them. That takes time. And then after you powder coat them, you got to size them, and that takes time. And I don't have that time much anymore. I did do these ones. But like with 9mm, I shoot so much 9mm in videos. I do 100 rounds of 9mm. Actually, if it's 380, actually let me step back. 22, 380, 9mm, 40. Usually if you see me do videos on those, they're all 100 rounds per video. So those I go through a lot of. But because I only have one gun that shoots this, well, this bullet here, I actually got two guns. But still, I don't shoot them as much, so it's not as important. But with 9mm, it's hard for me to find time to do it anymore. So it's actually better for me to just go out and buy 1,000 9mm full metal jacket, plated, whatever, and reload it. That way I save on time. And that's why I like Missouri Bullet Companies help me out with some. Right now on the 9mm videos, I got Xtreme Bullets helping me. They sent me 1,000 rounds. That's helping me out with about 10 videos. Because like I said, I do 100 a shot. And then after I get done with Xtreme Bullets, depending on how it goes with them, I'm hoping they stick on board. But I got some Hoosier Bullets. And Hoosier Bullets is, of course, from Indiana, which is right next door to me in Ohio. And they are high-tech coated bullets, too, just like the Missouri Bullet Companies. Now, Missouri Bullet Company and Xtreme Bullets, I've got discount codes. They'll be down below for you guys to check out. I don't for Hoosier Bullets because I talked to their owner, and their thing is they just try to sell them as cheap as they can. So they can't really put a discount code on them because they're just trying to sell it at the lowest price they can, which I think that is pretty cool of them. And all of a sudden, just like that, we got 2 more rounds to go. So we'll have some reloading and shooting videos with some of the Hoosier Bullets. They sent 500 124 grain 9mm, 500 147 grain 9mm, and then they sent out some 200 grain 45 ACP semi-wad cutters. So we'll be trying those out here in the future. And this is my last round here, and guess what? I'm not prepared. I gotta go grab my barrel to do a plunk test on it and show you guys. So there's the last round. I'm gonna leave it right there, and I'll be right back when I grab the barrel. Alright, I'm back with my barrel here, and man, was I just like unprepared for this video or what? Didn't have the bullets ready. Didn't have my barrel ready for the plunk test. Let's plunk it in. You heard the plunk. Falls right out. Plunk it in. Spin it all about. Not catching on the grooves. That is perfect. So now what I'll do is I'll plunk test the 100 rounds I did. I did 50 on video for you guys. 50 off camera. I'll go through those off camera and double check those. So let's give you my final thoughts. So what's my final thoughts here on the Lee Classic Turbo Press loading 40 Smith & Wesson? Of course, just like everything else I've loaded on it, it works great. Just so in case you guys don't know, I pre-prime all my brass. I don't even run the priming system on this. Just force a habit because on my Loadmaster, the priming system sucked on it. So I just got used to that. Lee dies, I got their 4-die set here. So all of these are Lee dies up on top. Nothing special there, just a complete Lee setup. Perfect for the beginner, cost effective, very nice. And as you guys see here, it makes some very nice rounds. So far on video with this press, I've made 40 Smith & Wesson now and 10 millimeter. I think the next thing we're going to make on this is either going to be probably 45 ACP actually. I got a video coming up for 45 ACP. I may need to make some of those up. Then after that, we'll do some 357 or 45 Colt. If I get the rounds for 45 Colt, I think I'm going to get from Republic Ammunition. We'll probably end up doing those after the 45 ACP. But as always, this press I recommend if you're a beginner or experienced. I recommend this press for anybody. So as always, don't forget to check the links out down below. Down there I have links to Axle Hearing Protection, Gators Eyewear, and a bunch of other companies I like dealing with. Some got discount codes for you guys to save money. Other ones are affiliate accounts that do help out the channel. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Leave a comment down below. We are One Nation Under God, and I'll see you all on the next one.